Here's a fun project to transform an old picture frame into a shabby chic message board. It looks great in a kitchen or craft room. This project is sponsored by favecrafts.com.
Smoking your last cigarette.
This frame has been gathering dust in my garage for more than a year. I'm going to give it new life by turning it into something I'll actually use. I won't need the glass for this project. You can buy an old frame inexpensively at a thrift store, especially if you don't need one with glass.
Everything wider.
Begin by removing the backing, mat, and glass. The edges can be sharp, so be careful, and remember to dispose of the glass properly. Be sure that the surface is clean and free of dust. Now add a layer of acrylic paint using a foam brush. This color will only show through a little bit through the top coat, so you can use a bright color that will really pop. Don't forget to paint the sides. While that's drying, we're going to work on the fabric backing. I plan on using clothespins to clip things to my memo board. If you would like it to also serve as a board you can use push pins on, you can add a layer of cork or a fluffy sheet of batting. Your fabric needs to be big enough so that you can fold in the edges on all sides. If your frame has the cardboard still intact, you can just cover that. Otherwise, you'll need to cut a piece of cardboard to fit. Make sure your fabric is ironed, and then lay it face down on a flat surface. Center the cardboard on top of it. Secure the fabric with hot glue. Fold in the corners so they will lay flat.
Your hair on my coat, you're smelling my clothes at the end of the night. I fell asleep.
Make sure you're pulling the fabric tightly around the cardboard. You don't want wrinkles. Now we can set the backing aside and go to work on the frame again. Make sure the frame is dry, then add a second coat of paint in a contrasting color.
At the end of the night.
I prefer using foam brushes because they make it easy to get into all the cracks and crevices. You'll want to let your frame dry completely before moving on to the next step. Use a medium-weight sandpaper to distress the frame. This removes some of the top coat of paint, revealing the contrasting color beneath. Now we'll move on to the chicken wire. You can buy it at most home improvement stores. This large roll cost me $9. Don't worry about trimming the chicken wire right now. It will be easier once it's partially tacked in place. Lay the frame face down and unroll the wire on top of it. Then use a staple gun to staple the wire to one short side and one long side of the frame. Now you can trim some of the excess wire. Use wire cutters, but don't cut off too much because you won't be stapling the wire taut. It needs to have a little give so you can fit the fabric backing behind it. We're going to insert the cardboard before we staple the remaining sides. Push the cardboard in firmly and hold it in place with the frame's metal tabs.
It was already dark. The rain had turned to snow. Everything wider.
Once the backing is secured, staple the chicken wire to the remaining sides.
Count the roads and count your friends.
I don't want the chicken wire to scratch the paint on my wall, so I'm covering the sharp edges with duct tape.
My mind, or you draw the line at the end of the night. At the end of the night.
Your frame should look like this. I bought these pre-painted mini clothespins at a craft store. Clip them to the chicken wire to hold photos, notes, or shopping lists. This project is brought to you by favecrafts.com. This frame went from drab to fabulous, a great upcycled project. For more project ideas and tutorials, visit www.madebymarzipan.com.